So this plantation pine was thinned a year ago, and you can see we have, a lot of the slashings that were left behind. And, in some areas, that's fine, I'm just gonna leave it. But in this area, I wanna kind of clean it up, make it look a little better. Um, and what I'm gonna actually do with the slashing is I'm gonna use the tractor here, and I've got these pallet forks attached to it. Grapple would be much better because I could just grab the stuff, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm going to use. Again, it's going to be a little more work. And then I'm just going to either scoop or load depending on how the slashings are laying. If they're laying all crisscrossed, I'm going to have to physically load it up. But if I can find some right pockets, in the past I've been able to just pick it up. If you have the balance right. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it to help enclose a blind, so it can act as a quick screening. And you can build a berm to do this, but basically I'm building a berm out of these slashings. And so I do have some evergreens planted along there as well, but they take time. And you could plant an annual screen, but sometimes these annual screens, if we have some snow or freezing rain and stuff fall down, where this pile of brush is not going to fall down, over time it'll settle, and that's eventually where the evergreens can take over to help screen the blind. But it's going to be quite a few loads. I got a chainsaw here too, in case there's some bigger stuff that I need to cut. But it's time to get to work. Another load ready to haul. I'm just hauling it over there, so I'm not going too far. We'll get that screen really firmed up nice with all this stuff that we have over here to work with. So it's the next day, and we've gained some ground getting rid of some of the slashings here, and we still got a ways to go. And we've improved our concealment over here for our hunting blind as well, and I'll take you over there to show you. But just kind of been picking away at this because it's been hot, and so I've been trying to work at the cooler parts of the day. But we'll get there, and I've probably got a few more hours left of this, but it's getting hot today, so I'm wrapping it up for today, and I'll probably get it finished here tomorrow or so. But let's go over by the blind and I'll show you kind of what my setup looks like. Alright, so here is what we've done with the slashings, and again, some of these were from when I clear cut or had logging done, clear cut for the 1 acre food plot that's on the other side of this. But a deer's not going to be able to see through this, and so it makes a good entrance and exit. And I don't have it on all sides, just mainly on this side, and that also gives me a safe wind that you can hunt this blind, because the deer aren't going to be coming from behind you more than likely. So here you can see the blind, and you can see the food plot. I don't have a summer plot in here, and it's been really dry, so this is going to be a fall planted food plot. And there's my blind, that's the back door, and instead of using that zipper making noise, what I do is I open it up and keep it open, and then I have black fabric that I attach to that, so I can just move that out of the way when I exit the blind. I also have black fabric on the windows that I have open, so again, before I open that door, if I don't close those windows, there's going to be daylight going through that doorway. And so what this allows me to do is silently close those windows up, and then I can pop open out of the back. And I've still got to add a little bit more brush in here, but that's going to be later on before the season, just to get that completely obstructed from the deer's view. But this is a really low impact way to get in and out of the blind. A lot of guys and people will talk about, what's the best way to get out of your stand, when you're hunting a food plot. And there's a lot of different techniques, and none of them are amazing, but this is one of the lower impact ones I have found. Yeah, you can wait them out, you know, that's probably the lowest impact way, because there's still a chance you could get busted if you don't have a quiet access trail, or you don't have the right wind. But if you don't have the right wind, you probably shouldn't be hunting that spot. So for me, that generally isn't a problem. And you know, you're more than welcome to wait them out. But if it's a destination food plot, or they're just not hitting a destination food plot after they're in this plot till well after dark, you're sitting a while. And I'd rather not do that. So this has been an option that I've used for a number of years and been successful. And actually I used it with a pop-up blind a number of years back, I think 2018, and I shot a 6.5-year-old 11-pointer using this same technique. And I've shot deer out of this blind and another blind, all using the same technique, rather than, you know, scaring the deer away when your hunt is done. So to me, I'd rather have the deer feel safe in the plot all the time. And you know, the only time that, you know, a deer might know something is if I'm shooting my way out. And in that case, you know, the deer that I wanted to harvest, it doesn't matter, because they're not going to remember when I'm processing them and enjoying them in my freezer. So we can see my existing food plot, and these are some of the slashings that was left behind when that 1-acre plot was clear cut. And so I built up a berm. You can see my blind is there, and that way I can get out without being detected by the deer. But it's starting to sink, and I got the tractor here, some forks on it, the bucket and forks. And then when they did some logging here this last year here, they left slashings back in here. So I'm in the process of using the tractor, chainsaw, grabbing that stuff, and improving the height of this wall slash berm. And again, it does a couple things. It hides my movement in and out of the blind, and I got to get it a little higher next to the blind. But it also prevents deer from coming into the food plot from behind me, so I have a safe wind.